species, and once we get accustomed to something, we need something more.
They make some scream for mercy, and others beg for more.
Most people go to an amusement park to have the devil scared out of them.
They test your courage and push you to the limit.
It takes you beyond the borders of anything you've tried before. It's a wild, out-of-control experience.
They are speed, thrills, and fear all rolled into one.
Woo! What a rush!
They are extreme rides. Mad Mouse, Tilt-A-Whirl, Roundup, Scrambler. For decades, these aptly named contraptions have excited and, in some cases, nauseated millions of thrill seekers at amusement parks and county fairs throughout the United States. But in recent years, a new breed of ride has emerged. Taking its inspiration from radical sports, the extreme ride taps into the excitement and adrenaline rush of skydiving, bungee jumping, drag racing, and whitewater rafting.
A lot of people don't have the opportunity to maybe go to the Colorado River or take a ride on a space shuttle or maybe even jump out of a plane. But the extreme rides give people the chance to experience some of these things that they can't normally do.
The sensation, the experience you get, your body is thrown into contortions you've never experienced before, totally different from the humdrum of everyday life. You're not thinking about your job, you're not thinking about school, you're not thinking about anything but what's going to happen to you next and whether you can survive it.
It's called the Rocket. This towering extreme ride at Dinosaur Beach in Wildwood, New Jersey, evolved from bungee jumping technology. But unlike bungee jumping, which uses giant-sized rubber bands to slow a jumper's descent, the Rocket launches its passengers more than 150 feet into the air at more than 65 miles per hour.
I would describe it as like a giant slingshot. It's basically, if you could think of what a rock would feel like being thrown out of a slingshot, that's what your body feels like when you're thrown out of this.
This human catapult, designed and constructed by Gravity Works, combines specifically engineered equipment with existing technologies and hardware from a variety of other applications. Rocket riders are securely strapped in with 5-point safety harnesses, the same kind used in F-15 fighter jets. The ride's reinforced steel cockpit is engineered to withstand over 10 times the acceleration produced by the ride. Electric winches slowly tighten two 150-foot bungee cords. These cords are stretched between 180-foot tall twin towers, manufactured by a company that also produces radio towers. Each of these 5-inch thick, tightly wound cords is made up of over 2,000 individual rubber strands. To ensure safety, the cords are fitted with nylon safety backups and replaced after every 500 launches. Once the bungee cords have been stretched to their limit, the operator simply pulls the release handle and blasts off.
Oh! God. What a rush! Oh, man. Whoa! Ah, man, that feels funny. Whoa, man!
Since its initial launch in the summer of 1997, the rocket has hurled more than 10,000 screaming thrill-seekers skyward.
That was great. I think people have always wanted to be moved around in ways that they don't normally go. During your normal day, you might like walk or ride in a car or whatever, but you don't normally get like flipped upside down at 60 miles an hour. So that's something different that people will pay to do.
It's not like you're flying. It's like a rush. I am shaking so bad.
Humankind has long dreamt of soaring like a bird. And while many courageous souls have lived this age-old dream by skydiving and hang gliding, the rush of sailing through the heavens has remained elusive for those of us not quite so brave of heart.
I love skydiving because you can't be born with wings, but you sure can fly. And that's what Sky Coaster is all about. But some things you can only do way up here.
Bill Kitchen took his passion for real-life free-fall adventures and turned it into a skydiving simulation sensation.
I enjoyed skydiving so much, I had so much fun that I wanted to share that thrill with people to whom skydiving wasn't necessarily accessible. And so that's how we dreamed up Sky Coaster.
The Sky Coaster at Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is basically a giant swing. Towering over 180 feet above the ground, flyers soar along a 350-foot arc.
2, 1, do it.
It's the closest thing you can get to flying without a plane.
But before they can earn their wings, flyers are given a crash course in safety and ride procedures.
Okay, clap your hands together, dive on through, arms out the side, head in the middle.
Flyers strap into a Sky Coaster harness equipped with a ripcord.
Okay, who's going to pull the ripcord tonight?
Me.
Okay, when you get to the top.
And just like real skydivers, Sky Coaster participants determine just when the fun begins.
Do not touch it till you get to the top, and don't pull it until you hear fly. Just stand right there, face that way, and drop your football.
The harnessed flyers are connected to a 5/16-inch thick braided steel cable, the same kind used to lift elevators.
Okay, lean forward.
Once in their pole position, flyers begin their ascent.
3, 2, 1, fly, then you pull, all right? All right. Here we go.
The Sky Coaster can harness up to 3 people at a time. Flyers are lifted more than 200 feet and pulled backwards towards the launch tower. For many, this 1-minute trip seems like an eternity to ponder what lies ahead.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, fly. Here we go.
Suddenly you realize it doesn't feel like you're falling at all. It feels like you're flying like a bird. Everyone wants to be Peter Pan or Superman or Supergirl. It's just built into us to want to share that thrill of flight with the birds. People love the thrill of free fall. People want to live on a higher plane, to share a more exciting existence, to feel that adrenaline.
There's nothing else like it. It's a 200-foot drop, and you swing down past the ground about 6 feet. You think you're gonna just smash right into it, and you go straight up into the air. And it's just a rush.
When you're first released at that sudden free fall before that wire finally connects you, oh, that's where the true adrenaline rush comes in. It's awesome.
With as many as 400 riders taking the plunge every day, safety is crucial. Every morning before the park opens, Safety Inspector Mike Kostic scales the Sky Coaster's mammoth towers.
As I climb, I have to check all the bolts that hold the structure together. I give them a quick visual, make sure everything's in place.
Working 200 feet above the ground requires a certain amount of courage and a safety harness.
What I need to do is check for wear on the Sky Coaster flight cables and to check the safety cable. The safety cable is connected by 2 cable clamps up on top of the tower, and it is here in case the bolt should break, the cable won't fall. It'll catch onto the safety cable. We've never had to use the safety cable, but it's still a good idea to have it. Just like any ride, an extreme ride like the Sky Coaster requires preventative maintenance to ensure that its parts are kept up and to ensure the safety of our guests.
Yeah! Extreme rides are going to get bigger, faster, and taller. Our first Sky Coaster was 100 feet tall, and we thought that would be an incredible thrill. Pretty soon, we built a 250-footer. Now we're building a 300-footer in Orlando. And we have a 500-foot ride on the drawing board.
Extreme rides like Busch Gardens Alpengeist and the Ultra Twister at Six Flags Astroworld are among the most recent innovations in the amusement park industry. Many of these high-tech creations are the direct descendants of a generation of amusement rides that emerged during the daredevil decade of the 1920s.
People were sick of World War I. They were looking for any kind of escape, any kind of thrill, and they would test it beyond its limits. We had the greatest roller coasters ever built in that era. But there was also fierce competition to be the longest, fastest, strangest, and scariest roller coaster in the world. For that reason, it was a very dangerous time. Inventors were treating riders as guinea pigs. If 3 people were killed and didn't return, well, next time around, we'll get it down to 1. But that was really the attitude.
In 1959, a technological breakthrough ushered in a new era of thrills. Steel tubular tracks revolutionized roller coaster design and safety.
The steel tubular track allowed the roller coaster designers to do different elements that are not possible with wood track roller coasters.
For the first time, riders experienced incredible hair-raising loops, dives, and corkscrew spins.
The wheels are a steel wheel with a polyurethane tread, basically. So you get a smoother ride, and you also get a quieter ride.
The ride experience on a wood coaster is dramatically different. Steel wheels roll along a flat steel track and generate a loud and rather bumpy ride. One of the most unique steel tubular track coasters in the world can be found at Six Flags Astroworld in Houston, Texas. The Ultra Twister uses a tubular structure to put a radical spin on the extreme ride experience. Passengers are dropped 9 stories straight down at more than 63 feet per second. Then thrust into a 360-degree barrel roll. Just when they think it's over, they must endure 2 more barrel rolls, this time in reverse.
This is the only coaster like this in the United States. It's really very unique. The very first time I rode it, I was in the very front seat, and you go up the lift hill, and then you come over the crest of the lift hill, and you look like straight down. My hands got wet, and I started screaming because it really scared me. And it was just absolutely incredible.
The Ultra Twister gets its name from the fact it does the barrel rolls. It does 3 heartline rolls, and you can't get that anywhere else. It's almost simulated what you'd get in an F-16 fighter doing a barrel roll.
The Ultra Twister and other extreme rides have been designed in part to simulate the maneuvers of high-speed flight. Rolls, loops, and nosedives are common features of these state-of-the-art attractions. Alpengeist at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia, is the latest in the evolution of these rides and one of the world's tallest, fastest, most twisted inverted coasters.
You ride hanging below the track instead of on top of the track. There's no floor to the train. Your feet are dangling. You can look below you and there's just nothing there.
The recipe for thrills begins with 300 tons of steel that traverse over 6 acres of land. The ride's 3,828 feet of tubular track can carry more than 1,800 passengers a day.
The technology is allowing us to do things that couldn't be done 10 and 15 years ago. You're able to design and build things that are much more impressive and much more intense. Has the largest inverted loop of any coaster in the country. It's a 106-foot vertical loop. It turns you upside down 6 different times in 6 different areas of the park. It's an extremely tall lift. It's 195 feet tall. The way we've themed it to be a runaway ski lift experience and fit it in with the terrain, the way it's been designed, where elements allow you a little bit of anticipation before you get into them, all add to a fun, thrilling ride experience.
Ride enthusiast Danny Biggerstaff knows every twist and turn of the Alpengeist intimately. He has hopped aboard this extreme ride more than 500 times.
Riding something like this is like riding in a biplane and just doing all kinds of aerial maneuvers. It's got vertical loops, cobra rolls, a lot of G-forces, all different types of elements thrown together. The wind's blowing in your face and messing your hair. You just go wild. A lot of people ask me, what do I do for fun? I tell them I ride roller coasters. They look at me like I'm crazy. I really don't consider it as a daredevil. I just consider it fun, and I'd rather be riding a roller coaster than doing almost anything else.
Research has recently shown that there may actually be a link between extreme ride junkies like Danny and their high-flying jet pilot counterparts.
I believe that there's a personality type involved in all of this.
I call it the type T personality, and the T stands for thrills. These are thrill-seeking, risk-taking, excitement-seeking, stimulation-seeking, arousal-seeking people. It's like they need it. They've got to have that stimulation, and if they don't get it on the roller coaster, they're going to get it somewhere else. Oh, yeah! So it has enormous motivating qualities. That's why you have these aficionados who travel America just riding the roller coasters.
But not all of us relish the white-knuckled terror of these contraptions.
There are people for whom those kinds of stimulation are far too stimulating. It's very unpleasant, can literally be painful, and it's certainly not something that they would seek out.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Megan Clark is an employee of Busch Gardens, but she is not a fan of extreme rides.
You don't understand. Oh, no.
But despite her natural aversion to high-speed coasters, Megan volunteered to ride Alpengeist with her friends, who reassured her she would enjoy the experience.
Deborah! Oh, my God!
According to experts like Frank Farley and Sigrid Gustafsson, there's a wide variety of human response to rides like Alpengeist. From the elation and euphoria of those like Danny Biggerstaff to the genuine terror of Megan Clark, who in the end did not enjoy her experience.
Those are the people who, if they accidentally got on one, would come off not laughing and screaming, but ashen-faced and shaking and ready to throw up, and they wouldn't do it again.
I kept saying that was it, and that was not it. Oh, no. It was not fun.
Every year, millions of people seek out the heart-pounding thrills of extreme rides.
You don't know when you're going to fall, and then all of a sudden you just drop.
You just go straight down, you feel like you're gonna just hit the ground 200 miles per hour.
My stomach is still up there. But it was great.
The intensity of these rides is served up in a myriad of ways. Some deliver pulse-pounding excitement by using one of the most basic forces on Earth, gravity. Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is home to the Pitfall, the tallest and fastest free-fall ride in the world.
It's a rush.
Yeah.
It's a real rush.
It's incredible. Oh my God, your stomach just drops.
On a free fall, it's exciting. It's a lot of fun.
I can't talk. It's wild. It's wild.
16 passengers, strapped into 4 seating modules, are lifted 251 breathtaking feet above the park. Then dropped like stones. Just 90 feet above the ground, a custom-designed permanent magnetic braking system slows the riders to a safe and gentle stop.
Well, is my underwear around my neck?
We have a vehicle that's reaching a speed of 62 miles an hour, weighs 3,000 pounds, run every 2 minutes, and friction brakes just wouldn't be economical on this type of ride due to the maintenance and wear and tear and everything. The permanent magnets are also pretty much fail-safe because when you lose power, you still have brakes no matter what.
For the seasoned extreme rider, the most appealing characteristic of the pitfall is what is commonly referred to as airtime. Those precious few gut-wrenching seconds where riders actually lift off their seats and experience 0 Gs.
Hi, we're on the pitfall at Kennywood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
High school physics teacher and extreme ride enthusiast Ed Henke has devised a simple experiment to illustrate what happens to earthbound objects during freefall.
We're going to demonstrate a state of freefall here in a few seconds when this ride tops out at 250 feet. I want you to pay attention to the spheres. We're locked off. I'm going to pay attention to what I have to do here. Watch the spheres. Freefall.
Observed again in slow motion, the spheres appear to defy gravity. But actually, they're falling at the same speed as everything around them, creating the illusion of weightlessness. For years, the only people privileged to experience the sensation of floating in air were astronauts and jet pilots. Several of today's rides, like the pitfall, simulate training procedures used by the Air Force and NASA.
I think there are very few people who would actually want to be in a real jet cockpit or a falling elevator. There are people who want to do this, of course, but I think most of us would rather simulate the experience, which again, you know, eliminates whatever real danger there is and just leaves the thrill.
A somewhat darker but equally enticing aspect of extreme rides, like the pitfall, is the way they allow us to face our fears.
I think all of this stuff is about not really confronting death, but holding it out there at arm's length, perhaps, and not really taking it personally, but confronting it halfway or something, you know, in a safe manner. But it never resolves the fear. You know, fear of death is with us all and all the time, and we never do really confront it in these ways, which is why we have to keep going back over and over again, because the fear is still there.
Oh, God.
This demonstration, using digital heart rate monitors, graphically illustrates the pulse-racing, fear-inducing effects that the pitfall has on first-time riders.
I can't believe how high we are.
Nice view.
As they ascend the Mammoth Tower, the riders' anxieties increase. Their fears can be clearly observed, and so can their rapidly increasing heart rates.
Oh, jeez, jeez. Whoa! Oh my God! Whoa!
Oh my gosh.
I can sing in the Vienna Voice Choir now.
While the pitfall drops you like a stone, the Big Shot in Las Vegas uses gravity in a different way. It shoots you straight up in the air like an arrow. 32,000 pounds of thrust rockets riders skyward. After they drop, the ride undulates to a stop.
It catapults you 160 feet in 2.5 seconds. It pulls 4 Gs and a -1 G coming back down.
Adding to the thrills is the ride's awe-inspiring location. Big Shot hovers 1,000 feet above the Las Vegas Strip atop the Stratosphere, one of the world's tallest hotels.
Big Shot, it induces a certain amount of fear because you just don't know what's going to happen until you ride it. You're 1,000 feet in the air, and all of a sudden you fly up, and you feel like you're never going to stop. Once you take off, you feel like you could just touch the sky. You're going to break through and go into outer space.
I did it. It was great. It was exhilarating.
While rides like the Big Shot use new technology to deliver thrills not even imagined just a few years ago, others are putting a new spin on more classic forms of fun.
One type of ride that's been around since the beginning of mechanical amusement rides is now referred to as the spin and puke or the spin and barf ride. And that's a ride that stays in one place but spins you around in all kinds of different directions, and it just is so completely disorienting that you don't know what's happening to you.
One of the latest generations of these topsy-turvy attractions can be found at Knoebels Resort in Ellisburg, Pennsylvania. Known simply as the Axis, this high-tech ride spins and tumbles its passengers in a dizzying array of movement.
We're here at Knoebels Grove Amusement Resort, and we are now taking off on the Axis.
We were looking for something exotic, extreme, and we looked at everything on the market, and this filled the bill.
This 25-ton contraption of polished chrome and flashing lights lifts 24 riders 48 feet in the air, turning them head over heels in 360-degree loops.
As we spin upside down again, hopefully nobody gets sick.
To my knowledge, nobody has had a illness problem on the ride. We did put a hose here, expecting that we were going to have to use it quite often, but it hasn't materialized.